Hey guys, this is Sacro here from Legends, and this will be a video voiceover guide on Zone 14 of Territory Wars for Aura Kingdom 2. You can see at the start here, I'm just making sure, since I'm the main tank, that I take all the guild pots just for that extra boost. You take whatever you can get. And to start off, the boss is attacking the wolf NPC, and you want to wait until you see that you failed to clear the battlefield message flash across your screen twice before you start attacking the ads. So we've gotten one failed to clear the battlefield message, and now we're just AFKing until we see the second one. And the reason that we do that is after the third failed to clear the battlefield, the boss stops attacking the wolf NPC and starts attacking our squad members. And after the second failed to clear battlefield, if you start aggroing onto the ads, they don't reset for when the third failed to clear battlefield message shows up. So you'll see here that the second failed to clear battlefield message just flashed across the screen, so the robots are just about to reset. They reset here, and we start attacking them. Our squad composition for this run in the video was 2 Dragoons, so I'm the main Dragoon, and we had another Dragoon as backup tank slash safety, 5 healers, 2 Shinobis, and 1 Nymph. The 2 Shinobis and Nymph are our DPS, and you can honestly run whichever DPS you want for Zone 14 because that's not really the main point. So now the ads are gone, and I grab aggro onto the boss and I start running. And that's the name of the game for this zone. Our whole strategy, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 for the boss, involves of one core thing, and that's just running and kiting. So in phase 1 of the boss, which is from 100% HP to around 70 to 75% HP, the boss has 2 attacks. He has his auto attacks, which he fires with his guns, and then he has that rectangular AoE that you see right here. And the skill rotations I'm basically using for this is pretty flexible, and the only thing you have to make sure of is that your Dragon Impact is up and you use it when the boss runs up to you and uses his auto attacks, because his auto attacks deal the most damage. And when he uses his box attack, that actually gives you time to rotate around the boss and go the other way and start running the other way. And you want to make sure that you run, so you see here that I rotate around, you want to make sure that you run the full length of this area. So back and forth, because that gives you time for your Dragon Impact to go off cooldown, and it also gives times for the healer's heal skill to go off cooldown. Again, here you see the box, and I just rotate around. So it's a pretty simple strategy. I know some guilds and some squads have cleared it with the Dragoons just phase tanking the boss, and I guess you guys just maybe have higher EP healers than us, or maybe their heal skill is, they have more skill books, in their heal skill. But for us, we feel like we like to play it safe, and you can see that I basically don't really go below 50% HP at all in this video. So you can be 200-300k EP Dragoon below me and actually be more tanky than me, because the armor set I run for my Dragoon build is actually the crit set, and my rerolls on my armor are all more PvP based, so they're more plus damage against players and plus extra percent damage. So like I said, you can be 200, 300k EP below me and still pretty much be more tanky than I am. The Eidolons that I'm using in my squad are Sigrun, Alexander, Valk, Mo, and Serena. And I'm not gonna lie, Alexander definitely helps a lot, especially if I have a 5-star, because that 2 seconds of just you being immune to damage is honestly kind of broken. You'll see here, one thing you want to make sure of when that box was there is that you don't want to get out of his desync range. And by that I mean, when you saw that box, I ran back to the left or to the right of the box, because if you run past the box, the boss gets desynced. And when he gets desynced, he'll just stand in place, and you'll see here again, I run to the right and the left of the box. When he desyncs, he stands in place, and he'll start hitting you with his auto attacks or normal attacks across the map. And to get him off desync, you'll have to run back to the boss where he's stuck at. But by the time you do that, your HP is pretty much already like at 30-40%, because he's already hit you with a bunch of his auto attacks. And that's the mistake that we made in the first clear video that we posted up that took around 40 minutes, because I desynced him, run back, died a couple times, and when I die, he wipes the rest of the squad. So just make sure that you're not out of his desync range, and as long as you do that, it should be a fairly straightforward fight. So we have already entered phase 2, and you can see he does his circle here, and that actually gives more time for you to have your skills go off cooldown, and more times for the healer's skills to go off cooldown. And phase 1 is honestly, in my opinion, the hardest part of the fight, when you get him from 100% to 75% HP, because he either auto attacks you or does the rectangular skill. And his auto attacks are the ones that does damage to you. So the more time that he's not auto attack you, the better it is. You see here that I run back to the right of the rectangular attack to make sure that I'm not out of his desync range. That's probably one of the most crucial things that you want to keep note of if you are the main tank in this fight, because you don't want to desync the boss. Other than that, you just rinse and repeat. Pop your Dragon Impact, hit it a couple times, rotate around, and run to the other side. One thing that might also help is for your squad members, if they have Sigrun, to run Sigrun as their lead, because Sigrun's Eidolon ultimate skill does 30% attack down on the boss for 10 seconds. And if you have enough squad members running Sigrun, you can actually kind of rotate around the Sigrun ult, and that will keep a perma 30% attack down on the boss. So again, the little things like these that you do for survivability, adds up, and they ensure that you have a smooth run. You'll see here that in this guide video that we did not wipe at all, and that's the reason we were able to clear it in 15 minutes. And obviously there are some portions where I played extra safe. I was already at 100% HP and I still ran in the other direction, where I could have probably just sit there, popped up some more skills, and damaged the boss a bit. But I just want to make a point that you want to stay safe rather than greedy, because if you die, the boss wipes the rest of the squad, and you lose all that extra damage that you were trying to get in because you were greedy. And so phase 3 of the boss should be starting soon, and that's when the boss is at around 25% HP. And that's when he stops using a skill, so he stops using that long rectangular box attack and the red circle AoE attack, and he just tries to run up to you and start auto attacking. So I think you see here he stop using his skills, but you stick to your plan. You just keep running back and forth. And for phase 3, honestly, you might want to play a little bit safer here, because he's just auto attacking you instead of, so you don't get that buffer time for the your skill scuff cooldown from the box attack and the circle AoE. But stick to the same strategy. You can always trade off between pivoting and dragon impact to keep that damage reduction up. Have your healers trailing you instead of trying to do damage on the boss. You'll see here throughout the video that the healers are mainly just following me instead of trying to hit the boss, because living is #1 priority in this zone. The main tank cannot wipe. If the main tank wipes, then you lose a good probably 3-4 minutes of progress. And that's honestly the crux of the video. The rest of this video is just me running back and forth and letting our DPS, our 2 Shinobis and 1 Nymph, do the work. And it really doesn't matter who you slot in as the DPS, because they're not the main focus of this fight, and they're not the important part of this fight, as much as I love Shinobis and Nymphs. I do want to say though that Alexander skills probably one of the best skills that you should get, and if you're a Dragoon or looking to make a tank set, then Alexander should probably be one of your top priorities as part of your Eidolon squad. But I won't go into too many details on that, since this is a guide on Zone 14. So to sum it all up, 3 things. 1, stay in the boss's range so that he doesn't desync. 2, play it safe rather than try to be greedy and get that extra damage in. And 3, just stay patient. It's a pretty, honestly, boring fight because you're just running back and forth. But as long as you stay focused, stick to the plan, it's a relatively simple clear. I think we have one more rotation after this and the boss goes down. So yeah, if done right, you can do this zone without a single wipe, a single death, and clear it pretty fast. So that's the end of this guide. I hope you liked it. I made it because I had a couple people PM me about details, so made this guide. May do more in the later videos, but yeah, see you guys.